All right. Hopefully that one worked. All right. So I just went live, but not really went live. Okay. So hopefully you guys are in here still. I don't know what just happened, but that's just a big corporation with their bugs in their apps that's making them their money. Anyway, so this is going to be a quick question because I heard this somewhere and it really stopped me in my tracks. And it was kind of one of those things where you hear it and then you say, okay, I don't think right now. But what's going on, Chris? How you doing? Happy Monday. Obviously, we're starting a lot later. I'm trying to get my Mondays down because the class that I take gets let out at 8. And then I talk afterwards. I don't need to. And then I go into the shower and come here and da-da-da. And I'm always late, and I don't want that to happen anymore. So this is pretty much the latest that I want to start ever at any time at 9:15. So this is the question. If someone took a book of your life right now, would it change me or you or someone else for the better? Okay, so when I heard that, it was kind of one of those things that Jordan Peterson, everyone knows him. He's come, to say the least, blooming late in life. And that's the best time to bloom, actually, because you can handle all the objections and rejections that you've done. KFC, the guy that started McDonald's, Ray Kroc, Jordan Peterson. There's a lot of people that started late in life. And the reason they started late in life, because they went decades of trying, and then finally they succeeded. So in your 20s and 30s, if someone wrote a book and they gave it to me and they said, is this going to change me for the better? I said, you know what? Maybe not in my 20s. In my 30s, that's a little bit different. However, we want to get to that point where that book does change someone for their life, because that book could be your kids, your spouse, your family, your friends. I'm going to go visit my parents. They look at me like I'm this god because I'm completely breaking the mold of the family. I'm starting, 4 years later, my own business. It's doing well. And you're going to get a lot of slack in the beginning, especially if you do something new based on what your family's not used to. Going to school, starting a business, being positive, maybe eating well. I talked to my parents and I'm like, I don't want that much meat. When I visit, I don't want meat. So when that book is written, okay, your video on Saturday about taking action was one of the best. I'm completely honest, and I watched a lot of personal development and not taking very little action yet. Listen, the biggest thing, and I was actually thinking about that. I soaked that in afterwards, and taking action is literally the book of your life. There's two types of people. There's actually three types of people in life, okay? Number one is the one that consumes things that are created. They consume that, a new iPhone. They consume the new movie. They consume social media. They're just consumers. That's about 80%. So if you look at the bell curve, 10% are just not even in the game. Then you have 80% that are consumers of content. Then you have 5% that are actually producing content. However, they are more in the entertainment space, okay? A football player, someone that calls the games, a movie star, a rock star, they entertain, and it's good. And that's what they're known for, the entertainers. And then you have 5% that are intellectuals, the people that are creating content for consumption. Jordan Peterson, Epictetus, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, these people that are creating content that are moving society forward. That's where I want to fall, in that 5%, because that's the Gary Vaynerchuks. Those are the people that you look at and you say, thank you for creating content. I'm now going to use it. So where do you fall? Again, 10%, they're not even in the game. Okay, then you have the bell curve, and then this is the majority. They just consume things. They consume, anything that's actually made or produced. Music could be anything else. Watch David Goggins. Yeah, the guy is a total sign of the way that masculinity in general should be going. Fact, where you could easily make excuses. That was Saturday, or was it Saturday or Sunday? It was yesterday. Easily make excuses. Well, I don't feel like doing it. I'm going to go watch the football games. I'm going to go watch the basketball games. It's March Madness. It's my school. I don't know what's going on with the news. I don't even know what's going on with the sports. I don't care. Politics doesn't matter. Like, what is that? Because there's something new. Because the person that's actually creating that is a business. And if they don't create new, fresh content for you to go back, they're going to go out of business. So they find more stories, they find the drama, they find out what gets the clicks, they find out that if it leads, or if it bleeds, it leads, okay? That's the bullshit. that overarching is the theme of this video, which is what is the story that you're creating that you're going to be able to share with your spouse. This isn't for now, this is for later, because if you're not doing it now, I was walking around New York City and this one person in 12 Rules of Life, highly recommend it, and Jordan Peterson actually brought it up in there. He says, if you are actually, parenting is not easy, okay? We can obviously establish that. And it has nothing, I'm not a parent, so this has nothing to do with that. However, there are good and bad parents based on discipline, based on they want to be friends with their kids, based on if they're absent, if they're giving love. There's just a hierarchy, especially in the first 3 years of a kid's life. That's essentially where the kid is molded, okay? However, the parent is molded for the 40 years or the 30 years beforehand. Okay, so that's what you really need to focus on, is the 30 or 40 years beforehand. So then when you download your bullshit into the kid, that the kid, he comes out all right. Of course, they're not going to be just like you, okay? And you don't want them to be. You don't want them to be a clone, okay? Look at anyone. I'm literally a product of a very stern mother and a father that was, a little bit looser, One big quote that was conflicting, I didn't say that, what did you do? I didn't hear it. Repost it. So that's really the overarching theme, is what's the story you're creating, and when you create that story, is it going to change me for the better? Is it going to change me for the better? What do you eat? What do you do? Do you take action? And it literally goes into your cells. Literally, read the book, Evolve Your Brain by... what's his name? Tim said, focus on the process and the journey, not the end goal. Tim Grover, say focus on the end goal. Yeah, you don't want to, it's a combination. You need to know where you're going, and then you break it down. Bob Proctor, so that's my issue with Law of Attraction, with Bob Proctor, any of these guys, because yeah, they've built a business, but a business around self-development, okay? And obviously they see the end goal, which is an audience that they could sell their products to. But I would listen to someone like Gary Vaynerchuk and Tom Bayou, however you say his name, because those are the people that are making the sales calls. Those are the people that are closing the deals. Those are the people that actually built the business, managed people, and managed expectations. You have, I already talked about it, the clouds and the dirt. The clouds are, where am I going? And then the dirt is the day-to-day. You need both. You can't do a process without knowing where you're going, and you can't have a process without knowing where you're going. So in other words, you're like, okay, where am I going? But you don't do anything towards it, or you're doing a bunch of shit, but you don't know where you're going. It's both, okay? It's kind of like, okay, the process is the actually behind you, and then where you're going is the driving. That's the process, okay? It was more about where should the attention be. The attention should always be on the process, 100%. Every single time should be on the process. That's it. What do you do when you wake up? What do? Do you wake up and eat like shit, grab a coffee, go to your phone, social media? What time do you wake up? The process of the night before. What time did you go to bed? Did you go to bed looking at news, and then you think about the news, and then you have bad dreams, and then you wake up because you've been mulling that shit over all night? That's the process. The end goal is that you wanted to wake up early. No, not at all. The end goal is you wanted to wake up early. Okay, great. You woke up early. But are you tired? How's your mindset? Can you go meditate? Can you go journal? Can you do your affirmations? Yeah, the end goal was to wake up early, but the process was fucked because you went to bed late, you're hungover, you're tired, whatever the case is. So you have to focus on the process, because the end goal will happen, okay? The end goal of waking up at 5 a.m. will happen if you have a good night of sleep. I had an amazing night of sleep. However, I needed a little bit more. That's really what it comes down to. You just listen to your body, but you also have the process in tow. My process is to make sales calls every single day. So the overarching theme is create the story that you want to share with someone else so it changes them for the better, and that's the story. Those are the three people. The consumers, all day. They spend money, they waste their time, and they go to their deathbed and nothing happens. And to be honest, it's a lot of these fucking people. Okay, they go to their deathbed. We didn't even know they were here. Number two are the people that entertain us. They produce content through entertainment. And number three are the people that produce content intellectually. Those are the people I'm really interested in, because honestly, Jordan Peterson's book is one of the best books that was just ever written, in my opinion. And I've read hundreds, maybe even thousands of books. So I'm gonna hop over to Facebook Live. I gotta do my sales calls, which is part of the process. The end goal is Hudson Yards. That's in 2025, okay? That's where I'm going, that's where I wanna go. I have literally quarter breakdown every single year until I'm 50 years old. Things that I wanna do, things that I don't wanna do, okay? So but what am I gonna do? Stare at that? It's never gonna happen. And then I get mad at the process, I get mad at life, and then I get disheveled, and then I grow old, fat, and gray, and just overweight, and then I'm 60 years old, and then I just say I'm too old, and then you don't do anything. Focus on the process. It's gonna pay off a lot more than just a goal. Have an awesome day. What's the question that you're gonna be leaving to me that's gonna change me for the better? Have an awesome day. Talk to you guys soon. I'll see you on the Facebook.